Welcome to my kitchen, which is the start of today's tarot vlog. I'm making a cup of coffee because I need it to energize myself for what I'm going to do today. I'm starting the Drop 'em 78 challenge. Information to that challenge will be in the description box below, but I am going to do basically a deck study on, for me, I chose the Tarot of the Divine because that is a deck that I've been really wanting to do a deep dive into. I'm documenting all this in a Notion page, and for the definition, I look at my kitchen table tarot book to help me write down a definition for the card meaning. Then I take a look at the card in detail for the detail portion, and I write down what is catching my eye in the card. For discovery, I'm taking the Beneath the Moon book because it has the fairy tale stories and myths stories behind all of the images of the cards, and I read that story, write down a summary in my Notion page, then I also write down how this relates to the meaning of the card. And I also write down how the card relates to my day. Then I felt the need to do a tarot reading because some feelings were coming up. Whenever I do a tarot reading, I try to grab my journal. I don't always journal my readings, but I really should. I write down my question, I shuffle the cards. Then I think about the interpretation and I write it down. That was my tarot practice for Wednesday. Hey, you're in my spot. I thought I'd spare you the coffee montage today. I just had lunch, so I'm feeling a little bit sluggish, and I thought this is the best calm mindset to be in if I want to sit down and do the Drop 'em 78 challenge. Not super calm because I do have my puppy here. So I am pretty sure that I am only one day behind on schedule, which isn't too bad. And I want to do both the 4 and 5 of Pentacles today. Starting with the 4 of Pentacles, which is the 4 of coins in the Tarot of the Divine, and I see this as a card of protection. It can also go a little bit too much in one way, where you go into greed, but I think this card really represents the fear of a lack of security and really wanting to hold on to what we have because we're afraid that it might be gone. I'm using the book Kitchen Table Tarot to help me with the definition parts of the card because I really like the way that it was written and what I'm getting out of it. This book helped me to add protecting what is yours, taking care of yourself before you take care of others, and holding on to stuff that we are emotionally connected to. Can you see her going at it? That's because my other dog is right here. The next D is detail. So what I do for this is I just look very closely at the card. I am trying to pick up on symbols, on expressions of faces, of colors, anything that I think might be related to the meaning of the card. And for this card, I really see the worry in the face of the woman, and she's really holding on to something, but then also we have the big bird also caring for her and protecting her and sort of shielding her from the outside world. Now comes my favorite D of the 3 Ds. I actually have a 4th D, that makes sense. Discovery. And I take my Beneath the Moon book and I flip through it until I find the image on the card that I'm working with. And then I read the story and I write down a summary of the story, the most important points, and then how that story relates to the card meaning of, in this case, the 4 of coins. It's quite an interesting story. So this story is about the bird who is named Condor, and he was flying around a lake when he saw this beautiful young girl, which I am pretty sure we're not getting her name, and he tricked her into coming with him to their vulture nest. They gave her vulture food, and even though his entire family tried to take really good care of her, she just wasn't happy. And then this little hummingbird saw what happened, and he then tricked the vulture, and the girl was able to escape, go back to her poor mother. And Condor was so upset with the hummingbird that he slashed at him and tore him into 1,000 pieces, but instead of dying, each piece turned into a new hummingbird, and that is why there are so many kinds of hummingbirds in the world. So how I would relate this story to the card meaning is that everybody sort of seemed to want to take care of each other, but then also of the girl. Ooh, you like the book? Don't eat it, it's not food. But especially the condor not being able to let go of the wife, the young girl, even though she was not happy with everything that she had there and with his family, because she didn't belong there, she didn't want to be there. Oh, hey bear, hi. The last D that I added, but that is actually a part of the challenge, is day. How this card relates to my day. So I'm thinking of what I am holding on to too much. You know, something that I am having trouble letting go of, or to look more at the taking care part of it. Like, am I taking care more of others, or am I taking care of myself? And I do think that I am taking care of myself. I'm still healing from my burnout. But the troubling thing is that I am not making money. I have government benefits right now because I can't work because of my burnout, but that is not a lot, and it won't make it happen for us to buy a house, to get out of this house. So I'm almost thinking like, am I working too much on myself? Am I taking too much care of myself instead of, you know, also taking care of others? But then again, the message of the card was taking care of yourself before taking care of others. So I think it applies to be that way, that is something that I am struggling with, to find a balance in. It's really hard to focus with a little puppy. Well, I mean, she's not little anymore. With a puppy licking your face or your arm all of the time. But I do really want to finish the 5 of Pentacles as well, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. 5 of Pentacles talks about struggles, both financial and physical, not really seeing a way out. Kitchen Table Tarot helped me add that it is about being down on your luck, being disconnected from hope, that the ground under your feet has shifted, but relief is right around the corner. For detail, we can see a young girl holding onto a little match with a small fire to stay warm. Her feet are red and cold. She's sitting next to a church, not really seeing the place that could potentially help her. About the story, it's called The Little Match Girl, and it's about a poor little girl with bare feet who is selling matches on the street corners to make a living. But one day nobody would buy her matches, and she did not dare to go home to her father without money, so she bundled up, sat in a small corner. She lit a match when she got cold and got a vision. She lit more matches and kept seeing these warm, inviting visions. Then she lit all of the matches in one go, saw her grandmother, who took the little girl's hand and flew away together in the sky, where there was no cold, hunger, or worry. Next day, people found the little girl dead and frozen solid. This relates to the meaning of the 5 of Pentacles because the girl didn't really have much, but she was still able to hold on to visions that meant a lot to her. She did not have a lot materially, but at times she did have loved ones, and she could have gotten help if she had known where to look. I finished the 5 of Pentacles journaling, and we're gonna keep cuddling. Hopefully she doesn't eat me alive, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Do you ever feel like you want to do something, but you kind of feel like shit? That's how I feel right now. I didn't do my daily card study yesterday, so I have to do double again today because I don't want to get too far behind. But the entire day it's been raining. I've been feeling like shit. I did go to a yoga class this morning, which was super fun. Oh hey, and I've got this busy, energized girl jumping at me. So I thought I would just sit down and just do it. I never really sit down here, but I did it 2 days ago for filming this vlog, and I actually kind of liked it. Did you pee? So the puppy may have peed on the carpet. I don't know, I cleaned it up. Wasn't easy to do because the couch is right on top of the carpet. I took the time to make some tea, grab a snack. Okay, so we're just gonna start, okay? Today we're looking at the Six of Pentacles. So far I have been really enjoying going through my Tarot of the Divine. It was about time that I did a deck study on this deck. So when this challenge was brought up in my Discord community, I was very intrigued and I decided to join the day of. I love cherry tomatoes. So for my definition of the Six of Coins, I'm thinking a transfer of energy. So giving and receiving and there being a balance of that. But the leftist in me thinks like, yeah, but sometimes some people have to receive more and give less, and some people will have to give more and receive less in order for it to be equal. So that is what I'm gonna write down first. I really enjoy going through kitchen table tarot to help me with the definition part, because the idea here is that yes, I use my own knowledge of the definition of the card, but I also wanna broaden my card meaning expertise, if you will. Plus I've always wanted to go through this book and actually get something out of here. So this is like the perfect way to do that. Then when we look at the detail of the card, we can see that there is someone who is being generous to nature. And I really like to see that in today's age where not everybody seems to care about nature. It's nice to see and to think about giving something back to nature after we have already taken so much. You can also really see the kindness on the face of the woman. So right now I want to read about the story for my discovery of the Six of Coins. This is the hardest part, flipping through this. Because it's not in order and I don't know the name of the story to look it up in the index. Some of these stories are really wild. I feel like there's a lot of people falling in love with animals in these stories and not in a platonic kind of way. So this story is called The Woman Who Was Kind to Insects, and she was left behind from her tribe. Then she was given a jar of insects to eat, but when she looked in the jar, she was like, oh, these insects are really young. I'm not gonna eat them. If I'm gonna die anyway, then they might as well live. And in return, the insects sent a fox who sort of nibbled at the older lady's skin until the skin sort of got off her and there was a younger skin underneath. When she looked in her reflection, she was a young woman again. And she married a blowfly who was very kind to her. Interesting. A lot of marriages to animals here. Now it's time for day, where I look at how this card applies to today. This was actually yesterday's card, but I just like to see how it shows up in my life in general. Actually, this might be about some thoughts of self-doubt that I've been having when it comes to my own body. So here, this woman who was kind to insects, but the Pentacles suit also talks about not just money and material things like that, but also the physical being. So like your health, your body. And I have been feeling like my body is sort of leaving me behind. I don't really know how to say that correctly in English, but I feel like my body has been sort of working against me. I have a lot of health issues going on. Sometimes some flare up more than others, and I feel like it's been really bad the last month. But then I also think, you know, this body of mine, how much am I doing to take care of it? I'd like to think that I have been doing well. I'm very mindful of what I eat. I've been trying to work out more. Going on walks isn't as easy if it's raining all day, but I think I have been having too much stress lately, and I haven't really been taking a break from my computer, from doing the work for this YouTube channel, and I think it's been affecting me more than I might have realized. Tarot is always confronting, but sometimes like this saying that, yeah, you have not been kind to yourself. When I was thinking I had been taking better care of my body, but maybe it wasn't necessarily coming from a place of love, but more of not being satisfied with what I have. And I know that I don't necessarily have it like worse than some other people. I know some people really struggle with chronic illness, but I still am frustrated with the limitations that my body often gives to me. Next is the Seven of Coins. I think this is an interesting depiction of the Seven of Coins. I'm very curious to see how the story relates to the card meaning, which I now am reminded of that I didn't even write that down for the Six of Coins. So I'm gonna have to do that too. Let's get to work. For me, the Seven of Pentacles shows having planted the seeds and now waiting for them to grow, slowly starting to see the fruits of your labor coming to fruition. And what I read in the Kitchen Table Tarot, I added hard work and waiting for that work to become something tangible. And that can be annoying if you're impatient, but fulfilling for those who pace themselves. In the detail, you can see that the people, they seemed to be singing, and there was also this huge flame that is taking up a lot of attention, and I saw corn growing in the corners. The story itself, it has a couple of names that I will have trouble pronouncing. Nanahuatzin, a story of the gods deciding that someone should be the sun. After 4 tries of sons that were too weak for the task, the gods wanted the sun to be able to sacrifice himself. The Quetzalcoatl was proud and wealthy and was to become the sun. Nanahuatzin was poor and weak and was to become the moon. They had to immolate themselves in a large flame, and the moon did it instantly, but the sun hesitated. So Nanahuatzin ended up becoming the sun and the other becoming the moon. For me, this relates to the meaning of the Seven of Pentacles because after many trial and errors, the gods finally came up with a way to find a good sun. They learned from their mistakes, doing things right or the wrong way, also as the sun and the moon were doing. Pride and impatience will not get you anywhere, but duty, calm, and persistence will. I think this is one of those days where the cards are just calling me out. I think the Seven of Pentacles for my life here talks about me being so fucking impatient, basically when it comes to anything in my life, but especially when it comes to money and my physical health. And I think this is just a reminder of not only being patient, but also by learning from my mistakes. So knowing what works and what doesn't work for me, and a reminder to do things the right way, what fits with me and what I want and what I can. So that was it for the tarot vlog for this week. Please let me know what kind of format you prefer. Like in the beginning of the video, I did a voiceover, and then right now was a little bit more vlog style. Let me know what you prefer, or if you hate these altogether, you can be totally honest with me and let me know in the comments. It's okay. I won't take it personally. But I thought it would be fun to go over my Drop 'em 78 challenge. Definitely look forward to showing and sharing more of that. I'm gonna eat the rest of my cherry tomatoes. You can click the video on the screen right now to watch another one of my videos. Subscribe if you want to see more tarot chats and deck reviews. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!